Good morning, sunshine. Welcome to Morning Inspiration with Friends with our host, Miss Inspiration. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe as you sit back and listen.
Good morning. We are back. It is Tuesday. Hope everyone is feeling amazing. It is your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. I am the host of Morning Inspiration with Friends, and today I got another conversation that is great. So, for everyone that is brand new here, one, thank you for being here. Stay a little bit, get you some coffee, some tea, a smoothie, some water, or just listen as you are doing something in the background. Well, let it play in the background while you're just doing something, because this is going to be one of those conversations that people don't want to hear, but people need to hear. So I ask that you share this with 5 people that you know. Share it on your timeline. Share it because, again, these are conversations that we need to have in order to change our lives, right? I'm telling you things from firsthand experience because these were actual things that I have gone through and I have actually experienced. So I'm not speaking from, assumptions. I'm speaking from firsthand knowledge and experiences. So, yesterday on Threads, if you're not following me on Threads, make sure you give me a follow. I'm over there, same name as my Instagram, Tanisha Shanae. So if you want to follow me on Threads, we have some great conversations over there, and I just think that would be a great time for you to kind of see what we're talking about over there. So yesterday, someone had commented, um, nobody wants, I'm tired of people telling me to go and find a job. No, I'm tired of people telling me to monetize my hobbies. If I wanted to monetize my hobbies, I would have. Okay. So my first question to that person was, but they didn't answer, but I saw the comments of they were responding to people. So I kind of can gauge where the answer was. God gave us things that we have in us. Y'all hear me talk about this all the time. God gave us talent, skills, and abilities. Those things can transfer into hobbies. Those things can transfer into jobs. They can transfer into many different things. What people are trying to do, and I'm talking about the people that have a need, whether it's from I need $20 to I need a couple of extra hundreds to get me through this month. Okay? It is December 2nd, and someone out there right now, forget about Christmas. We're talking about just straight up trying to pay your household bills. There are people right now, that are already stressed out because they're not going to have enough money to get them to December 31st. That's just the reality. Now you want to add on holidays, right? So what do you do in that time? So the first person is going to probably say, well, Tanisha, I'm going to go get a new job. Awesome. Put in them applications. Go on those interviews. But the days of people waking up, going to somebody's job, going to some company and applying that same day and getting paid the job that same day, it's not happening anymore. I remember when I went to go work at McDonald's when I was in college. I literally walked in there. I was just trying to get the application. I wasn't even trying to submit the application right then and there. They was like, no, go over there, fill it out, and give it back to us. The manager's here. He'll probably interview you right now. That man interviewed me on the spot. And I got the job. But that was back in 2002. It's 2025. This is not happening too often. I'm not saying it never happens, but it's not happening as often as it used to be. Because there used to be a time in the 90s. My mom, she always talks about that. My mother used to walk her for jobs, and she'll go down the block, and she'll go find another job, and she'll be at that new job. But those days are not happening as frequent as possible. So if right now you're saying to yourself, Tanisha, I don't have enough money to get me to December 31st, and I don't want to use my hobby because that's my hobby. This is the things that I need to do. Then we need to have this conversation. Because one, you need to shift your mindset and thinking that it's just a hobby. It's not just a hobby. It's not. It is a talent and a skill that God gave you. And that's supposed to be given to the world in some capacity. Right? And I think that's what people get stuck at. So I know people that do arts, crocheting. And so their first thought is, I don't want to be the person that has to make, bibs and hats and blankets. They don't want to do that as a business. They just want to crochet. And that is a beautiful thing. However, that's not the only way for you to make money from that hobby. That's the problem. A lot of y'all are thinking one track. All my arts and crafts people, you're probably thinking, I got to be the person that got to create all these things for people. They're going to place the order. I got to make it, and then I got to ship it to them. And then that's going to be stressful. That is stressful. Just even saying that was stressful. But that's why you need a person like me. You need a lifestyle strategist like Miss Inspiration to help you see the other avenues. Because one thing about me here, good morning, Tabitha. The one thing about me here, I believe in working smarter, not harder. That's been my MO since 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the person, I walked away from an in-person job because it just didn't make sense. I was like, yo, I'm working mad hard. And honestly, the real hard work was the commute. My commute used to be 2 hours each way, to and from work. That's exhausting. I used to live in New York City, so that's why. But when I say to you, I literally was just like, all right, God, what am I going to do? Like, I can't keep doing this. I don't want to sit in traffic. I don't want to keep giving the commute 4 hours of my day. That's a lot. I need to start doing things different. And then that's when it came to me. Work smarter, not harder. We have the ability to sit. You can sit down for a couple of hours, maybe a Saturday, maybe a Sunday, and you can sit and you can create all these ideas. And you can put your ideas into one. And you know what we call that? We call that passive income, right? And you're probably saying, well, Tanisha, I don't know anything about passive income. Not a problem. This is the reason why. It's called the gap. Ever heard one of those? So you have to realize, right, that how can you take your gift and make it into a passive income? I'm going to give you some ideas. So many of you don't know me, don't know my journey. I've been speaking online, doing different things since 2012. And so since 2012, I have started to share my different journeys. And one of the journeys that I had lost a lot of weight naturally, right? Naturally, with no pills, no surgery, none of that, right? Life happens. Other illnesses happen. So don't worry about what happened right now. Focus on the past. So when I first started that journey, I'm a teacher. So my students, they're all adults. They were seeing the journey. So they were seeing me coming into work, drinking my smoothies, drinking my lemon water. They would see me on my lunch breaks, especially now it's cold. How the building was, it was like a huge square. So I used to just walk around. Like that's how we get my steps in, because I'm like, yo, it's too cold to go outside. New York City in the wintertime is not nice. So my students were like, well, Ms. Williams, can you help me? So I had made their smoothies at one time. That's really exhausting, right? Really, really exhausting. So I said, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be the person out here making people smoothies. Then I had tried doing meal prepping. Oh, yeah, I don't want to do that because, again, work smarter, not harder. I was working really hard to make other people's stuff. So in order for me to make this passive or as passive as possible, I started to do a few things. I created a meal plan, and I started to sell that online. I did a 21-day meal plan for people, right? And so when those people have that 21-day meal plan, that means that they basically had 21 days of meal options, of healthier options for them to eat. And those people, I made it online. And this was back in, I want to say like 2014, when I really started to like tap into a little bit of passive income. And I forgot what platform I was using back then. It was still Square, because Square was still allowing you to use their online. So I created that 21-day meal plan for anyone to purchase. And I made it like $5. It wasn't anything crazy that wasn't going to like break people's pockets. And people started to purchase that. And I remember the first time when I woke up in the morning and I saw that I had made 3 sales. 3 people had purchased this meal plan while I was sleeping. And it just made me start to think about, what else can I create that can help someone no matter what I'm doing? If they need it, they can tap into it. So I also created another ebook. Let me actually see if I have this one. This one is probably available right now. Because sometimes I will forget to add it to like my link tree. My link tree has all of my links. But I have an ebook, and juicing used to be the thing. No, sorry, smoothies used to be the things for me. But people wanted to have information about juicing. So I created an ebook about juicing and about smoothies, giving them tips about the best types of blenders to use, the best type of juicers, giving them different recipes that would help them to get out their comfort zones. So for the people that were like brand new, they didn't know anything about smoothies. They, believe it or not, a lot of people don't eat vegetables. So they were really afraid to even entertain the idea of a vegetable-based smoothie, because all they know is like strawberry banana. And I'm like, there's so many other fruits out there, and there's vegetables that you can add to give us the healing powers that we need. So I created this ebook. And that ebook has been around for a long time. And I know right before I moved to Oklahoma, someone called me and it was like, hey, we got something that's going on at the church. We want you to come speak, bring your books, whatever. I didn't have the physical books because these were ebooks. But people purchased those ebooks, and then they forced me, because these were older people in the church. They don't understand PDFs and how to, read ebooks. They don't want to do that. They were like, can I get a physical copy? So while I was speaking, the people that were comfortable with ebooks, they were there purchasing the ebook. They were getting the ebook. They had all of my recipes, all of my tips, all of my tricks, right? And then when I came back, the people that were like, Tanisha, I don't like ebooks. Can you give me a physical copy? All I did was just create that and have it printed and now make a physical copy. So it went from being passive to now being sort of kind of passive, because now I have to bring you your book. But that's how I took the idea of making people smoothies for them, doing meal preps for them, and I turned it into a passive income. I spent a couple of hours creating it one time. You make it available one time. You post it online a few times, because depending if you don't have a website, because anyone can do this. You don't have to go to Wix. You don't have to do any of that. There are platforms that you can use. There are free that you can actually start utilizing. And so this is what I want people to start thinking about. So again, going back to my arts and crafts people, some of y'all can do classes. You can create a simple course and show people how to do these things. Just go on YouTube. Go on YouTube. There are people out here who literally just have their selfie stick. They have it set up. They're sitting there and they're showing you how to crochet. And they're showing you the different methods. And they're slowing it down for you. And then they're giving you a PDF, which is the ebook that they created. And it's giving you the best tips. They're telling you which ones, why you shouldn't buy the cheap ones from like dollar store versus this one. They're giving handouts that people can now have extra resources that they can utilize as they are learning this new craft. So this is the person who was taking a hobby and who said, I don't only want to be the person that's going to make all of your blankets and your hats and your gloves. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that's going to show you how to do it so that you don't have to keep coming back to me unless it's a really special occasion. But I know, like, I don't want to be that person sitting there crocheting, all day. If you want to learn how to make a scarf, let me show you how to make a scarf. And this way, what I have instilled in you, you can have this wisdom no matter what. And you can make a scarf a second time, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time. So you have to figure out, how can I take this information that I have in my head about this particular hobby, and how can I transfer it to the people in a way that is not going to overexert me and it's not going to be overwhelming to them. Courses, ebooks, digital products. People are looking for information online. Why aren't you the person to bring that information to them? Oh, because it's my hobby and I don't want to monetize it, and I don't want to lose the spark of it being my hobby. I love what I do already and I don't want to stop loving it. But if the same breath you are looking at your finances and you know what's coming in from your job, you already know you don't have enough to get you to December 31st. So why wouldn't you want to think about, how can I monetize this? There's nothing wrong with monetizing your gifts. It's a gift. Everyone doesn't have the same hobbies. I know people that have some hobbies and I'm like, oh, I have no clue how I would ever use that. No clue whatsoever. Totally foreign to me. But now, because they have the opening, they have the mindset, now they're going to start thinking of the different ideas. And it's like, well, I could do this, I could do that. Trust me, everyone can teach someone something. And if you already said to yourself, well, Tanisha, I'm not a teacher, so I can't teach. Guess what? 15 years ago, I walked into a classroom and I had never taught a day in my life. Well, in my mind, I never felt like I taught a day in my life. I never thought that way. I never thought I was a teacher. But then when life started lifing and I had to go out there and do what I had to do, my best friend kept telling me, why don't you go be an adjunct? Go be a teacher. I had my master's degree. I was like, girl, I'm not trying to teach nobody anything. I'm not a teacher. None of my degrees were in education. And it wasn't until life was kicking me, with the job that I had, that I gave them 40 plus hours a week, was not paying me enough to pay my household bills, let alone anything else. So you know what I had to do? I had to get my behind in that classroom and had to figure out, how do I teach so that I can get the money that I needed so that I can survive and not be homeless. So some of you have to tap into what you are afraid of and what you are thinking. You're speaking against it. You're telling yourself off the bat, well, I can't do that because I've never done it before. Guess what? 15 years ago, I never did it before. And here we are 15 years later, still in education. It might not be in classrooms all the time, but I'm still in education. Whether I'm working with faculty members and helping them to develop their classes, this is why I tell people to turn their hobbies into a course. This is what I do professionally. Like, colleges pay me to work with their faculty members to develop classes. I'm going to tell you this. College courses are tapping more into the gifts and the talents. So they're tapping into the people that have those gifts and talents. Everyone I work with does not have a PhD. Because they're tapping into, like, there's a course that I was just looking at the other day. It was called Purposeful Life. And I said to myself, I could teach that class because I talk a lot about purpose. And I started looking at more classes. There's a class, Social Media Marketing. There's just showing people how to create social media marketing, how to create different marketing campaigns. Some of you can do that because some of you already do that. You run little ads right now on Facebook and they get a little bit of traction. Now, what if you took that and also help somebody? You can develop your skill a little bit more. So I want you to start thinking about that, because I do see a wave is going to start changing, right? Continuing ed has always been that little space for the people that did not have the actual educational background. That's where a lot of those amazing people end up at. Look at some of your local schools. Most community colleges have at least like a some type of continuing education. Look at that handbook. That handbook will show you some of the ideas that colleges are really trying to open up to, and they need people to teach those classes. And they're not looking for the stuffy people that have a PhD in education. No, they're looking for the people that have the real talents and skills. That's you. That's me. This is how I was able to stay, because I figured out what I was good at. I'm good at teaching computers. As much as it annoys my soul sometimes, but I know that I am good at teaching computers. Microsoft Office, Google Workspace, like that's what I teach. You want to learn how to use the LMS platform? I got you. You want to learn how to use some of these AI tools? I got you. So when I realized that, that was allowing me to start tapping into these institutions that were looking for instructors to teach computers. And people are like, well, you stay with a job, because I understood what I have the capability of doing, and I just went with that. And I just continue to go with that. Because the one thing I know, somebody out there always needs help with learning computers. So you have to figure out how you can either tap into something brand new that can help you to make that extra money, and start thinking about, how can I make this passively? Because it's a beautiful feeling to wake up in the morning and see that you have made sales, right? I sell my merch for my show, right? Start with inspiration. You can go ahead. You probably see somewhere down below the different products, especially if you are on YouTube. You see the links. You can purchase a hoodie, a t-shirt, a mug that says "Start with Inspiration, Morning Inspiration with Friends." That's one way that I make money. I have my ebooks, I have my coaching, and these are all things, my courses, these are all things that are done passively. So when someone calls me, I've had someone call me recently, and they were like, we need someone to talk about side hustles. Can you talk about side hustles? Absolutely. They was like, do you have something that you can promote? Absolutely. I stay ready. The only thing that I have to do is update. I have one chapter I want to update, because there's more apps that people are able to use to make money. I created that course in 2022. 2022, I created my side hustle course. And I have only updated when it was necessary. And right now, with everyone having a creator program, from DoorDash to Target to Walmart, Wayfair, everyone has a creator program. If you shop at any one of those places, you need to be joining their creator program too. Like, we spoke about this yesterday. You can go watch that video. We spoke about that. So there's ways. You just got to see it. So I'm telling you, I had all these notes, and I ain't looking well now one time at my notes, but that just shows the passion. I'm tired of people standing in there. You're standing in your own way. Every time you make an excuse, every time you huff and puff, oh, I don't want to do that, but you have a need. Guess what? I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be 100%. Your family and friends, they're tired of giving you money. They're tired of loaning you money. You must be tired borrowing money, and then you have to borrow money from someone else to pay back who you just borrowed from. So why wouldn't you want to tap into either an app that you can use on your phone to make some money? Why wouldn't you want to tap into your skills and your talents and make it available, so that it's not only blessing you, but it's blessing everyone else? Because someone out there needs your voice, your strategy, the way you do it. There are some people, they don't rock with me. They can't rock with Tanisha. They say I'm too much. They don't like my New York accent. Whatever, that's cool. They can now find someone, because I'm not the only person out here talking this way and speaking this way and teaching. Someone else is doing it too. So they can go there. And then someone finds me and they're like, yo, I like the way she does this. I had applied for a job at Harvard. In the interview, I already knew. I was like, they're not going to hire me. We don't have the same energy. We don't have the same. Go over to Boston College. They're actually like neighbors. I get a job. Prestigious, both of them. One is more than the other. But it's about, where do you fit? You got to find where you fit. And when you find where you fit, that's where you can grow and flourish. Same thing with your audience. And you as the audience, you can choose to walk away and say, nah, I don't like the way that person speaks. Like, I used to follow someone and they used to curse at their audience, right? They would curse them out. Oh, no. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't rock with this. Like, people are rude and disrespectful, right? I'm going to keep it a buck. Yesterday, I had people, like someone, Yo Boy earlier said, he was like, you missing a tooth, right? Now, that one, he didn't get blocked and banned. I answered his question. No, I have a gap. But yesterday, I had someone who was just coming in crazy. And I'm like, you don't even know me. Right? And it's just because a lot of times people they think that, this is the assumption, they think that people with gaps that we should be ashamed, right? They think that we should be ashamed. And I'm like, no, I'm not ashamed of my gap, right? I'm not closing it, not doing it. If society feels like it's not beautiful, God bless them. I know who I am. I'm Miss Inspiration. I show up and I do what I do because God made me this way, right? Black people are rude and disrespectful. Have to disagree with you on that one. Have a great day. Okay, so I'm stopping here. I hope this message, if you are just tuning in, go back. This is a lot of gems, a lot of information. If you're ready to take action, go down to the description. You're going to be able to see, I have my side hustle course that I was talking about, 75% off this week. That's less than $15. You get 4 chapters. We're talking about your mindset, talking about the different apps that you can utilize. You get 2 free books. And then we also talk about my passion, which is turning your skills, talents, or abilities into a way to make money. So that is the course, 4 courses. Anyone that joins this week will be invited to my mastermind. I'm doing a special mastermind where you're going to be able to take those ideas, those thoughts, those passions that you have, and we're going to start looking at how we can turn them into passive income digital products that you can use. There are so many choices out there that you can choose from. Everyone doesn't have to build a course. No, everyone doesn't have to build a course. There are so many other ways, but it's how you look at the creativity. What are you willing to do? And I also will give you some tips. And if you're not willing to do it, where you can go so you can get it, and it can make it a lot easier. Because again, what is our motto here? Work smarter, not harder. Someone put that in the chat. Work smarter, not harder. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. We'll be back here tomorrow at 7 a.m. Central Time. As always, we do this every Monday to Friday for morning inspiration with friends. And this is something that you are enjoying. And hit that like and subscribe so that I know that you were here and that you will be notified every time that I go live. Have a good one. Be blessed.
Wow, Tanisha, that was a powerful message. I hope everyone was blessed by today's message. Listen, if you are not tuned in, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Meet us for morning inspiration with friends every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m.-ish CT time. See you next time, friend.